Have you ever felt like your school taught you all about the world, but kind of forgot to teach you about, well, you? Today, we're going to explore a huge idea that might just change how you think about what it means to truly learn something.
Hey, welcome to Listen Up, our series with the International English Academy, where we're all about getting better at listening. And in this explainer, we're tackling maybe the toughest kind of listening there is, listening to ourselves, especially to the truths we'd rather not hear.
So this all kicked off with a really sharp question someone asked. They basically said, look, why should I waste time on stuff like philosophy when I need to learn math and science to get a good job? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. The answer, though, is way simpler than you'd think.
Okay, let's just redefine philosophy for a second. Forget the image of dusty old books and confusing theories. At its core, philosophy is just a love for the truth. That's it. So the very act of asking, why should I study this? Well, that is philosophy. It's that built-in desire to know what's real.
And that leads us right to this first huge idea. Our education system is amazing at teaching us about the world out there, but it leaves this giant, gaping hole when it comes to teaching us about the world in here. Let's break it down like this. You've got your formal education. Super important stuff, right? It's how cars work, how economies run, all that. But then there's what we could call real education. And that's about understanding your own internal wiring, how your own mind actually works.
And this just nails it, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Did you ever take a class in school called Why You Feel Weirdly Competitive with Your Friends 101? Or Why You Get So Bummed Out When You Don't Get a Compliment? No way. And yet, these are the kinds of questions that secretly run our entire lives.
So, okay, what's the big deal? Who cares if we don't know ourselves perfectly? Well, this is where it gets serious. Because when you scale this problem up from just one person to the entire globe, the consequences are pretty terrifying.
This is the question we really have to ask ourselves. What happens when we put people in charge of massive companies, powerful technologies, even entire countries, but they're completely illiterate within? They have no idea what's driving their own ambitions, their own fears, their own darkness.
And wow, this quote just hits hard. It suggests that our biggest threats today, things like climate change or the risk of war, aren't really technology problems. The real issue is that we have all this incredible godlike power out there, but it's being controlled by the deep, unexamined darkness in here.
Okay, so if knowing ourselves is so critical for our own lives and for the whole planet, why is it so incredibly difficult? Why aren't we all just doing it?
Exactly. It seems like something we should all want to do, but we all know it's a huge struggle. Well, the argument here is that maybe we've been looking at the problem completely backwards.
This right here is a total game changer. We tell ourselves this story all the time, right? Oh yeah, I get it, I understand the advice, I just can't seem to do it. But what if that's not true? What if the reality is, if you can't do it, it means you haven't actually truly understood it yet? The problem isn't the action, it's a block in the understanding itself. And what's that block? In one word, fear. Here's how the cycle works. You come across a new, maybe uncomfortable truth about yourself, but before you can even process it, your mind jumps way ahead into the future, imagining all the bad things that could happen if you accept it. That fear creates a wall, and to feel safe, you just reject the truth altogether.
And that's the absolute core of it. Fear is the emergency brake on genuine listening. The second a truth feels threatening, our mind just slams the door shut. It starts to argue, make excuses, and defend itself. And at that point, real listening, it just stops.
So if fear is the thing that slams the door, what happens when we manage to keep it open? What does it actually look like when understanding breaks through?
Oh, I love this analogy. It makes it so perfectly clear. Imagine you're about to take a drink of coconut water, and you look down and see a fly floating in it. You don't stop and say, I have understood there is a fly. I must now develop a strategy to implement not drinking this. No, the second you see it, you just put the glass down. The seeing is the doing. It's totally spontaneous.
And that's what real change, born from deep understanding, feels like. It's not about forcing yourself with willpower. It's described as an explosion, a sudden burst of clarity where the right action just happens. You couldn't stop it if you wanted to. And that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To stop struggling and fighting with yourself to do the right thing. The idea is to cultivate an understanding so deep and so clear that it becomes the master. It starts calling the shots, and your actions just fall in line, naturally and smoothly.
So, let's end by turning this all back to you. After everything we've talked about, what's one truth about yourself or your life that fear is stopping you from really listening to? To put it another way, what's the fly in your coconut water?